Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another tropical update here by Asian Weather Forecast. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on Invest 98L and possibly Tropical Storm Faye. We're not going to be focusing on Christina, as Christina may not even be a hurricane anymore. So really, I'm just going to be focusing on Invest 98L and possibly maybe weak Tropical Storm Faye making landfall most likely in the mid-Atlantic, if not in the northeast, because we're still a little iffy on where it's going to make landfall. It's continuing to brew off into the southeastern coast and about to make yet another landfall in the Outer Banks, and then that's when it gets crazy from there, whether it's become a tropical storm. But the reason why I'm posting some early is because I'm going to be heading out to Lake Lanier very soon, just to hang out and all of that. So I just said might as well make a video before I go there so you guys can actually see a video though. Also, be sure to hit the post notification icon, subscribe, and like button as well to show your awesome support. Also, be sure to check out the Discord link in the description below. And of course, let's try to get up to possibly a couple more servers, people out there in that Weather Expo. With that further ado, let's get in the video. Here's the National Hurricane Center, and as you see, they have updated this to an 80% chance for the next 48 hours and 5 days. So this is where they think it could very well develop in this whole circle. This is where they think this tropical storm Faye can develop. So anywhere as soon as the Outer Banks to all the way near the New Jersey coast. And that's the thing. It's going to be really iffy on landfall because it can either make landfall in Delaware and Maryland, which are what most models are showing, or making landfall right over New York City, which is what a couple of models as well say. But I think it could very well possibly make landfall in the mid-Atlantic, including skinning Delaware, and then going out into southern New Jersey, and then going up through New Jersey, affecting New York City, and all those areas in the northeast. So that is the National Hurricane Center. Let's go and check it now. Look at the satellite imagery for Invest 98L and see how organized it is. Now, this system's looking a lot more organized on satellite imagery. I don't know if it's just me, but this thing looks a lot more organized. It's now actually possibly going to be avoiding Outer Banks and possibly head out through this area right here. That could be the track at this point. So it could very well be heading a bit more this way, possibly skin Delaware, then go throughout New Jersey and inland. But some models are showing it like this, going like this. That's what other models are showing. So really, this is basically the cone, though. I'm going to add this in the cone for potential inland landfall at this point. This is the whole cone at this point for a landfall, in my opinion. So watch out if you're anywhere from the Delaware and Maryland coast to New Jersey, Long Island, possibly even Connecticut still. But this thing is definitely going to have a lot more vorticity here on satellite imagery. We're going to start seeing this enclosed low pressure system right here. It is sitting right here. So it does need to close up, and then it could very well be possibly very weak tropical storm Faye. So this is where it is right now. It is avoiding the Outer Banks. It is moving along the eastern coast, and really still wondering about where the system can go. My best bet is where I have that cone. I really think this wind shear and jet stream is going to keep it to the east, so it really won't go that way. I think it's going to push it eastward and head that way, really, most likely Delaware, Maryland. But this low pressure is not right here. It's actually right here. So that's why I'm saying it's got to be enclosed. That's where all the vorticity is at this point. So that's on satellite imagery. Let's go check out water vapor, see how nice. Ooh, water vapor is looking really, really nice here. As you see, it's still continuing to strengthen and get a lot more organized, having a lot more demand for water vapor and these nice warm waters. So this thing could possibly become a tropical storm. I say the chances compared to the intensity guidance have gone a bit down, but we still have an 80% chance on the National Hurricane Center for the next 2 days for this to become Tropical Storm Faye. And if it does become Tropical Storm Faye, I do see it only being 40. This is my new forecast, 40 to possibly 45 miles an hour. That is my final for this point right now, and then I'll update it if I need to. But that is that. Let's go and check out now the intensity guidance here. Let's actually move this a little bit. As you see, the new intensity guidance model update is showing a lot less. Models are predicting a really maybe tropical depression at most, or staying as an invest at this point. That's the weird thing, but a couple models are still showing getting over a tropical storm. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 models actually staying at a tropical or getting to a tropical storm. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's that. So honestly, I think this could very well possibly become a tropical storm, but it's kind of that iffy situation. It's kind of on the fence at this point. So not only was Christina being a disappointment, honestly, who knows if this, because it's going to be going, if it does avoid the Outer Banks, like it is now, and then it has a, obviously, if it doesn't hit Delaware and Maryland, and it goes right here, it could possibly become a tropical storm. But honestly, it's all on the track, really. As you see, though, I still think it could be a tropical storm, if not very weak, a very weak tropical storm. As you see, like I said, most models are indicating it possibly hitting the areas of Delaware and Maryland coast here. So really going to possibly affect Virginia Beach. So basically what they show is kind of going like this. And that is what that is showing really at that point. So this is kind of what this is showing right here. Going all the models do show going over the Outer Banks, then possibly going out into Delaware and Maryland. And then, like I said, the other models are showing it hitting Long Island, New York, and also New York and Long Island. And then also including Delaware and Massachusetts. So really we have two possibilities, outcomes, going to the Mid-Atlantic or avoiding the Mid-Atlantic, and it goes into the New England. I think if it goes into New England, towards New England, that has a better chance of becoming a tropical storm. I only think the reason why it's so low, so many models are not showing tropical storm anymore, is because they have to choose between one and the other model track. So they're just averaging out. That's probably exactly why. Let's go and exactly now check out the precipitation rate on Invest 98L. As you see, it's going to be going over the Outer Banks very soon, and then it's going to possibly just go like straight like this for like this point, going like that. And then as this is the GFS model at 1,008 millibars, as you see, it's going to be start turning to the west a little bit. It's going to be like that at that point at 1,006 millibars, and that's 18 hours. It's going to be getting very close to the Maryland coast, and then it makes landfall in between the Maryland and Delaware coast in the next 24 hours. And that's going to actually strengthen at 1,005 millibars. Very heavy rain for portions of the Delaware River, the Delaware Water Gap. All of that's going to be some really, really, really heavy rain. And that's even going to strengthen to 1,004 millibars as it does pass near New York City at this point. So really going to start strengthening a lot, the storm. And then even by 1,000 millibars by near the not just north of the Syracuse area, of course, heading toward the Adirondacks, and then it's going to be going over the Adirondacks at 1,000 millibars, and then going to be spilling out into Canada, continuing to possibly strengthen. Here is now the wind extent here. As we look on the GFS, it is showing making landfall on the Outer Banks and possibly reaching up to 30 knots here. And then that's kind of it with the year or the GFS of 30 knots. That is like equivalent to 35 miles an hour. So obviously that is not equivalent to a tropical storm. So really it's kind of iffy on this point whether it's going to be a tropical storm. So it's kind of the iffy situation. Let's go and check out now the weather models. Those models there, because since we can't really just decide on the GFS, I decided to bring out weather models again. It's been quite a while since I brought this website up. But let's go ahead and check that out. So here it is in the next 18 hours, possibly bringing it at the gust up to 67 miles an hour. This is what the HRRR is possibly showing here in the next 24 or possibly 23 hours. It's just going to make landfall, possibly skinning. Actually, it's going to be skinning the coast of Maryland and Delaware, burning possibly 62 miles an hour of wind gusts. And then that makes landfall in southern New Jersey here. As it's going to bring up to 62 miles an hour gust for a portion of New York City there. And that's going to be spilling out into New Jersey. I can see that little eye right there. It is going to develop an eye, which is really nice at this point. And then, of course, it's going to start going over closer and closer to the Delaware River. I'm going to start weakening wind-wise. But this is a nice storm. Let me just tell you, this is a nice storm based on this. Let's go and check out now the NCEP, including one of the GFS models. As you see, possibly showing up to 29 knots the next 30 hours there. and then when it possibly makes landfall, it's going to be to 30 knots. And then later on, it can possibly bring even 37 knots. So that's another model that shows tropical storm force winds just barely. Now let's go and check out now the last GFS and see exactly how much rain we're going to be seeing in these areas. So here's the amount of precipitation we're going to be seeing in these areas. As you see, we're going to be seeing a lot of precipitation. Kind of just see it's tracked by here. This is kind of like the cone. This is where you can just track this cone really just by this. That's kind of cool. But as you see, it's going to possibly bring it to half a foot of rain for portions of northern Delaware and southern New Jersey that border there near the Delaware River. And obviously, it's going to bring in possibly 4 inches to 5 inches for portions of eastern PA and up to 2 to 3 inches for portions of central and northern New York. It's going to go straight through New York at that point. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. So this is a wrap up the video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. It's a brief video on Invest 98 weather. It's going to be Tropical Storm Faye. Honestly, it's kind of on the fence at this point, really. On the fence whether it is going to be or not. But really, it's got to kind of see how the models work. And also going to be seeing whether the jet stream does push it more to the east, which will possibly make it have landfall a lot earlier. That's kind of just a thing. We're kind of iffy on the fence now, which did seem like we were very confident. But now it's just kind of winding down with the intensity models. But really, I still think this could be a very weak tropical storm, but the intensity guidance, we'll see how that updates later. And if it does make landfall in possibly whether it's to Delaware, skidding the coast, or southern New Jersey, it will make landfall very soon within the next 24 hours. So we definitely need the models to start agreeing and all of that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.